Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups. Let me see if I can find the live feed. Should be right there. Okay. So I'm trying to edit it. So today is Saturday. Let me get rid of the other writing on there. Today is Saturday, February the 8th. Okay, and I'm going to share it to the internet, memories, and live videos. Okay, I had 2 or 3 stops to make this morning, so that's the reason I was not here super early. Yes, I did hear about the wagon turning over at the stock show at the rodeo last night. I have not heard an update. Is everybody... I heard the driver, the guy driving the team, I heard that he went to the hospital. Today's the last day of the stock show for another year. What else? We're eating at Chicken Salad Chick. Maybe I made it right this time. 1 o'clock on Camp Bowie, out there by Campese's. Let me get rid of that deal. How do you get rid of that? Well, for some reason I'm there. I don't have him now. Okay, so we're eating at Chicken Salad Chick on Camp Bowie, out there by Campese's. Stock show's over today. Super Bowl is tomorrow. Oh, and you can guess the score. We need to start hyping that up. You need to go to fortworthmemories.com and do the guess the score. .com. If I can get the internet to work. There we go. Okay, guess the score. Kansas City versus Philadelphia. So I'm the first person. Y'all need to get on this. I think Philadelphia is going to win this, but I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to say Kansas City 38 and Philadelphia 41. Let's see. Yeah, 41. So mine is LGO. So y'all need to go on there and guess the score. Tomorrow's the big game. Well, it wrote it down 3 times. I don't know why it wrote it down 3 times. Anyway, let me see if I can find out if anybody's on the live feed since I got a late start. Uh, is that it? Or is that it? So I'm going to put good morning on there. Marilyn's in, Marquita's in, Ben is in, and I'm in, and Aaron's in. So y'all go to FortWorthMemories.com and go to the 3 bars over on the top right and click that, and then it'll have different things, and find the guess the score, and let's see who's going to win this Super Bowl thing. I just guessed it, 38 for Kansas City and 41 for Philly. I think it's going to be a good game. Somebody told me yesterday that there's like a dozen players from Texas in the Super Bowl. That's pretty cool. We know the starting quarterback for Kansas City is. That guy's hard to beat, but I think this year, I think Philadelphia's got a good team that can play against him. I think Philly's defense is pretty powerful. In fact, they might get to him and sack him and maybe rough him up a little bit. I'm not hoping for that, but Mahomes, of course, he plays hurt. I've seen him where he can barely walk and beats the heck out of people. James is in. Brittany's in. Good morning to everybody. So go to FortWorthMemories.com and guess the score. And if you want to watch all of that, of course everybody's watched it all, I'm sure. Terry is in. You know, you can start watching the Super Bowl tomorrow at about noon probably. They have 4 or 5 hours of it before the game even starts. I'm getting a message. Do we know how the driver of the chuck wagon is from the rodeo last night? The wagon turned over. Somebody said somebody made a post about it on Memories. Now from Andra. Larry, hey Larry, good morning. Just wondered if you heard about the chuck wagon accident at the rodeo last night. Yep. Reed, was he the driver? That was Cavender's wagon. He was taken to the hospital. Yeah, I know Reed. Does anybody, there's a lot of people commenting. Does anybody know if he's okay? Do they know what happened? There it is. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, so find the feed and the comment. I don't know if he's hurt, but he's dang sure shook up, I'm sure. Nobody knows what really happened? Okay, well, let's keep Reed and everybody involved in our prayers. I've known Reed for a pretty good long time. We had Dr. B on last night. That was a good interview. Zofluza is... I had a lady call me this morning and said, you can't find it. Well, that's what Bartlett said last night, is that the big chains are rat holing it or something. Well, somebody wants to know, I posted a lot of stuff about Bell Helicopter last night. I don't know, sometimes I just get in the mood for, so that one of the chief test pilots out there was very good friends with Desi and Lucy. They always, I heard, in fact, I've got a book in the library part of the museum, the history of Richland Hills, and it's got that guy's bio in there, and it said when Desi and Lucy came to town, they stayed at his house. The reason that they would be in town is there was a sitcom back in the 50s. It was late 50s, 58 or 59. In fact, Danny Dean was over here the other day and we Googled it. It was called Whirlybirds. And of course, the helicopters came from Bell Helicopter. So I think that Desi and Lucy were here several times, and they were seen around town. I heard they ate at Joe T's. I don't know, but yeah, they were here a lot. Now, I've got several pictures of them out at Bell Helicopter on a podium, and they've got this young man with him. That's not their son. I don't know who that young man is, but he must have won some kind of award or something. When I get off here, I'll post pictures of it. But he's in between Desi and Lucy, and like I say, it was at there was some kind of formal event, or let me see if I can find it right quick. So whenever you want to find anything, you just go to the group page, the home page, go to the Spyglass and put in Desi and Lucy. Or put in whatever you want to put in, and that'll pull up everything we've ever talked about. And so there you can see that's clearly at Bell Helicopter, and Ricky's got the microphone, and I do not, and the young man's holding, Lucy's holding flowers, and he's holding flowers. Of course, Desi's being Desi. I do not know what that was. Here's another one inside of either a building or a house. And there's that young man again. I don't think he's any relation to Lucy and Desi. Here they are getting off a helicopter. Well, wait a minute. But the name of their sitcom was Whirlybirds. And if you Google it, I don't think it was too successful because it didn't last but about 2 years, 3 years. There's another one. So let's try to find out who was that young man. I'm going to make a post. Let's see if we can't research and find out who this young man was. It might be in that book I've got. It's a brown leather book that says history or stories of Richland Hills. It was put out about 3 or 4 years in the 50s. So it would. It had to be put out later than that because there's an article in there about Desi and Lucy, and that was late in the 50s. Okay, so come on, Internet. Okay. Does anyone know who the young man is with Desi and Lucy. Because don't y'all remember, didn't their son, didn't he have a band? Desi and Lucy's kid? Or am I dreaming that up? Did Desi and Lucy have a son? Desi Jr. He was born in 53. Oh, and I didn't know you spelled Lucy Lucie. Yeah, because her name was Lucille Ball. They had a daughter too. Oh yeah, Little Ricky. That was he was on the show. Was that their real son? I guess he was. You remember? If you remember back watching it, they called him Little Ricky. So, didn't he have a band? Didn't Little Ricky or Desi Jr. have a band? Wow. They don't look anything like their mother or dad. I always heard that Desi beat Lucy up all the time. I don't know if y'all heard that. Did Desi Arnaz Jr. have a band? Dino, Desi, and Billy. 1964 to 1969. The group featured Dean Dino Martin and Desi Arnaz Jr. and then their friend Billy Hinkshey. Well, who was the band, the actor's kid that Gary Lewis and the Playboys? Wasn't that was that Jerry Lewis's son? We're playing trivia here. Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Yeah, Gary Lewis was the son of Jerry Lewis. This Diamond Ring, yeah, that was a famous song. I don't think any of them look like they're like Jerry Lewis. Wow, I don't know how I got off on that tangent. Okay, so we're gonna find out about the accident at the rodeo last night. Somebody gonna be able to check on that? The accident at the rodeo last night. Yeah, I think there was a bar out there called Whirly Birds. Now that you mention it. Yeah, they had another single. They had This Diamond Ring, and what was that other one? Gosh, we're going way back. But I do believe there was a bar out there by Bell Helicopter. But you know what? That would have had to been later, wouldn't it? Because back then, in the 60s, Hurst was dry, wasn't it? I remember if you lived in Richland Hills or North Richland Hills, you had to go to the Bottoms. That was down, what was that road? Booth Calloway, and it went down to John T. White Road. That's where there was T-Dyes and Sandy's. God, I remember it now like it was yesterday. We used to jump the fence beside Sandy's where they kept their trash, but they also kept those wooden Coca-Cola boxes with the bottles in them, empty. And if you could get those and you took them to the buddies, you got $5 for it. And so we'd go over there and steal them. And we also bought beer there. The guy never did ask for an ID. I know because I never had a fake ID and I always used to buy it. So there was, Sandy's was down straight ahead, T-Dyes was on the left, I think. And then there was 2 or 3 right there. But I don't think Hurst was, but you know what? You remember that law that you could drink if it was a private club? Everybody sold memberships. In fact, you didn't even have to buy one. They give you a guest card. So, but I do remember a bar there called Whirly Birds or something like that. Randall Mill Road and John T. Wright. What did I say? Maybe it was Randall Mill Road, yeah. I used to keep my horses not too far from there. If that was Randall Mill Road, it's right off of what do they call it now? Highway 10 or something? I forgot what we called it. It was the road to go to Bell House. Oh, it was called 183 for some reason. You're probably right, Marilyn. It was probably, or whoever said that, it's probably Randall Mill Road and John T. White. Yeah, them were the days. I was a kid. I was a teenager. So we're eating out on Camp Bowie next to Campese's out there. Chicken salad chick at 1 o'clock. Everybody needs to go shopping and get ready for the Super Bowl tomorrow. I might take a nap early and then be able to stay up. 7 o'clock, my lights go out. Back when we owned all them bars, I only slept 2 hours a night. That's when I'd start drinking at 6 in the morning. Wow, was that... Yeah, that was the old highway to Dallas. 183. Billy's in. Exactly, George. That's exactly what it was. And then the other one, we called it Grapevine Highway. I don't know what they call it now. But it split as you were coming into Richland Hills. As soon as you passed, if you're heading east on Belknap, when you passed the stadium, the old Birdville Stadium, and then Richland Plaza was right there, you could either go to the left or the right. The left was Grapevine Highway and the right was 183. I went by that Richland Plaza, man, that thing's nothing. That's not even a shopping center anymore. So that's what they call 26. What do they call the old 183? Is that 12 or something? Yeah. Yeah, them were the days. But I do remember you could drink out there for private clubs because you remember they had a real nice apartment out there. It's called Soda Grande. Man, that thing was top of the line. It was about 3 times the rent. I don't know if that thing's still there, but hell, I think they had a golf course. It's called Soda Grande. No, not yet. I'm still getting a second opinion. There's going to be a guy go look at it next Thursday. No, you're talking about $20,000 minimum. That's not happening. So I either got to find me something or do something. You used to live at Soda Grande? Really? Man, those were top of the line apartments. I never even went in one. I didn't know anybody that's that fancy that lived there. Oh, so it's still there? Man, that thing survived the time, if it's still there. There's no way that's still there. Is there? Soda Grande Apartments. No, I didn't do it. It was SOTO, right? Yeah, Euless is still there. Or I think it is. No, maybe it's not. That's on Soda Grande Boulevard. It's called Westdale Hills. I don't guess Soda Grande's still there. Or it doesn't appear to be there. Yeah, out there in Euless. Sam is in. I'm talking about it was in the 60s or 70s. That was the nicest apartments anywhere. Zach is in. It's called Soda Grande. I think they had at least a 9-hole golf course. I think it was over $1,000 back then, when all the rest of the apartments were $400 or $500 or $600. Elaine is in. So you live there, Brittany? It's pretty nice, huh? They had a lot of police always out there too. I think we went out there once to try to figure out if we could get away with something out there or something. I think they had security at the. It's kind of like a gated community back then. Yeah, it was more expensive than all the rest of them. In fact, Hearst and Bedford and Euless all had nicer apartments than. If you was out there at Hearst, Bedford, or Euless, that's kind of high cotton. Then you get into Richland Hills and Haltom City, and it was bottom of the totem pole. You were on the other side of the tracks if you lived in Haltom City or Richland Hills. I had a guy the other night was wanting to know why that North Hills Mall never made it. I don't know. Because it was really probably as nice as Northeast Mall, I thought. They had, what'd they have? What stores? They had good stores. I don't know why it didn't make it. It didn't last very long either. Anybody have any idea why North Hills Mall didn't make it? We're gonna eat at Chicken Salad Chick, Camp Bowie, next to Campese's. Is Margie's open? I don't have any idea. Is Margie's open yet? We've been waiting on them to open. Let me ask Mr. Google. No, it's not open. But is expected to reopen soon. Opening early 2025. Well, this is pretty early. No, it was started in 53. That was opened in 53. It's been there a long time. The group that bought Politos out, Burke Harvey and GG, and they're the ones that own it. They own Rogers Roundhouse, JD's, Burgers. They own a ton of stuff. Larry, somebody told me you were going to run your special again. I'm going to run it this weekend. In fact, I'll start it today, and it'll be over Monday. You buy a half-price detail certificate and use it whenever. There's no expiration. Yeah, you can call me when I get off the phone. I mean, it'll start today. Today, tomorrow, and Monday. 3 days. The ghost is in the building, I guess. How could that door open and shut by itself? Anyway, let me see. Must be a ghost in the building. Now it's open again. Maybe my old man is stirring. Nobody knows about the accident at the rodeo last night? Okay, let's do the sponsors, and then I gotta start doing the work. Winstead Paint and Body. They're on White Settlement Road, just past Roberts Cutoff. Alpha Design and Build. That's our remodelers. That's Lance Sanders. They'll remodel your house or your building or add a second story to it, whatever. They're flexible. They can do it all. Fort Worth Florist is our florist that we now recommend. So Valentine's Day is what? 6 days away. Call them today and order some roses. They're on Camp Bowie way out. 8,000 block, 8,200 block. Feltz Family Auto Care. They're in the Burleson area. Mike Feltz and his family. That's a family-owned business. They do great work. We've had a lot of good reviews. G2 Garage is in the White Settlement area. Chris and his team, they've taken care of a bunch of our members already. Stroud Auto Supply. They're in the Haltom City area. I used to buy auto parts there when I was a kid, and I didn't even know later in life I'd meet his son. Casey Crawl, that's our Medicare and Medicaid insurance folks, and they know all the right stuff. You got to be a genius to navigate through that Medicare or Medicaid. Let Casey and his team do it for you. Rex's Bar and Grill, that's Rex Benson. It's in the old Macaroni Grill on 1500 block of South University. They're going to have a lot of Super Bowl parties there tomorrow, so get there and get there early. Swartz and Hanson Architects, they give very generously to our bike giveaway every year and also being a sponsor. Charlie Guerin's Railhead Barbecue. Charlie's on my board of directors at Larry's Kids, and also a sponsor, longtime sponsor on our group. Rains Plumbing, another family-owned contractor with Fort Worth Memories, and they are in the plumbing business. They also have had a lot of good reviews. Trader Joe's is limiting egg sales. What's the deal with that? Passport Getaways, if you want to book a cruise or take a trip or go across the country or get tickets to Disneyland, they can do it all. Optimus Club of Fort Worth, they do a lot of great stuff for kids. Besides a lot of athletic stuff, they do scholarships. And the way they get this money is through donations, selling Christmas trees, and they also provide our museum with a free tree every year. K-Ranch Roofing, that's Jorge Hernandez. If you think you got a roof problem, call. It doesn't cost anything to have them come out and take a look for you. Old South Pancake House, that's another Rex Benson owned company. It's in the same parking lot as Rex's Bar and Grill, 1500 South University. Thank you. And they're open 24/7 on University. Now the one Old South in Burleson is not open 24/7. Brandon Cross, another family-owned business. Cross Electric, they're our electricians. So if you've got an electrical problem, don't try to fix it yourself. You'll electrocute yourself. Jenny Stewart is our State Farm insurance lady. Call and get a quote. You know, you might be paying too much. Doesn't cost anything to make a phone call. Fort Worth Lumber, Emily and her team out there have been with us forever as a sponsor and as contributing to the bicycle giveaway. Express Dent, that's Dick Regester. His operating partner is Eric. Dick now lives in Florida and has for years. The dent shop is over on White Settlement, so if you got door dings, hail damage, anything like that, take it to Express Dent. Grateful for Your Trees, that's Richard Carr's nephew, Dickie Carr. This young man does everything to do with trees, so if you got any tree issues at all, you need to call Dickie Carr because he handles everything to do with trees. And there's Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel, which is now owned by, that was Richard Carr's father, so Pat and Richard Carr now are the owners of that. Burt Ladner Real Estate, Wes Williams is connected with that organization. Wes is also on the board at Larry's Kids. Eric Walsh is also owns a real estate company, and he is also on the board at Larry's Kids. Coburn's Catering. Today is the last day you can get a barbecue sandwich out there at the stock show coming from Coburn's. But they cater to parties and events all year round. Dub Peacocks, A-Bird, AC, and heating. So if you think you got any issues with your heat and air unit, just call Dub Peacock's company and he'll send somebody out there to take care of it. Okay, I'm going to sign off for a minute and I will be back. I'll be back before we go eat, but Chicken Salad Chick, Camp Bowie.